Okay, welcome to Vintage Time Australia once again, and in today's video we're going to have a look at a 57 Lord Marble. So this is a very early example of the Lord Marble. We can just sort of pan around there. So it's the typical Lord Marble dial. It's a white dial. They're almost always white dials. There were some black ones, but typically they were all white. So yeah, you can see there, typical white dial. One thing that, one minor issue with this dial is you'll see that it's got some browning around the middle there. I'll try to point that out. So just around there, there's some browning, which is basically oxidation of the silver plate that's under the semi-clear white paint that's under there. Alright, so we'll just turn it over and have a look at it on the back. So the date for this one is 1965, which would probably date it to one of the first Lord Marbles made. I'm not sure exactly when they started making this movement, but that would be about then, so I would expect that to be the case. So you'll see there the strap is the original strap, and that's long since perished. You can see it's gone powdery on the edges there, so now it's sloppy, and it's the same case there. Coming over to the buckle, it is an original buckle, and from what I think these are made from aluminium. Actually, they're incredibly light, haven't corroded, which would suggest that it would be aluminium. But there you have it. So it is all original, in original condition. Obviously the plexiglass is completely gone, but that's to be expected. So we'll just flip it over. Also the crown is pretty much gone as well, but I'm not sure if I have a spare for those, or whether I have to look at maybe trying to get it plated or something. But yeah, that original crown is actually a brass crown which has been chrome plated. So what happens is the chrome plate wears off, and then you're just down to raw brass, and the brass tends to corrode. So now what we'll do, I've already pre-loosened the back, so we'll just knock that off. And we'll just have a brief look inside. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do a video series on restoration of this piece, and to be realistic with what the outcome is going to be, it's going to be pretty good, except we're going to be stuck with that browning in the middle of the dial. There's nothing really I can do about that. It's just something that we have to live with. So if we're looking in the back of the watch, so we're looking in the movement there, and these are a 36,000 beat per hour movement. They were, I think, the first one that SEIKO did, and I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm incorrect, but definitely on production pieces this would have been the first movement that they did. And then of course they followed it later on with the 45 series, and then you have the 6145, 6156, 6156, 6159, and whatever other variants that they had of that, with various calendar variations. So the movement looks like it's never been serviced, which is really what we're after condition wise. And I'm just gonna, I don't know if you can see my head on there, I'm just gonna actually just poke my head in there just to have a quick look. So that is a really good outcome. It's also got a bit of a weird case spring around it as well, which is quite interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if we can just pop the movement out. It may or may not come out, just depends. It came out pretty easily actually. So we're just going to take the crown out there, and to take those out, usually I use an old oiler. Probably should make a little brass knoblet or something to do that, but this will do for now. And we're just going to loosen. I just thought it might drop out. We'll just see how we go. Yeah, that's just going to come out. So I'm not going to take the case spring off, the case ring off now. just going to turn it over and look at what we have dial wise. So there we go. So as you can see there, and I just have to, got a cat that's trying to encroach on the situation here. So you can see there the dial is fairly good, but of course we're stuck with that oxidation in the middle there. Nothing I can really do about it, but we can clean everything else up and service it and just see how we go. So if you have a look on the side there, and this, you should be able to see the rather oddball case spring there, hopefully. This is a pretty high powered lens, so it tends to want to focus at one point, and I don't have any autofocus put on. But this, yeah, is a very strange spring that you can see going around the side there. But yeah, as I said, this will just be a quick video just to look at the initial sort of examination, I guess, of this piece, and just see what's going on in there. And it's probably about I would say a 6 or a 7 out of 10, depending on how you rate it, but it's not too bad. So I'm just going to pop that back in the case. I'm just going to do it this way to try and reduce the risk of damage. And just turn it around. I'm quite happy with the condition of the movement itself. It's in exceptionally good condition. All the plating is quite bright. There's no screwdriver marks everywhere. No one's had a go at it with funny screws or anything like that. So that's really the gold standard for what you're looking for in movement condition with these vintage pieces. I'm not going to crank it up and get it running right now, just because it does need service. But you'll see here on this movement, they're quite a high quality movement. So you've got 2 dia-fix settings there, and from memory, I think on this movement they're on the bottom or dial side as well. You've got a reasonably large balance wheel, and yeah, obviously they are a hand winding movement as well. So this is the 5740A. Normally I see the 5740C. So it'll be interesting to see what the differences are. I suspect they'll be minimal, if any, but we'll see how we go. All right, so I'm going to leave that there, and in the next video I'm going to pull it apart, and we're going to start getting it ready for service. I am actually going to show oiling on this one as well. Now that I have a place where I got a fair bit of room to work, I'm going to be able to do that. So with this camera lens, you can actually set it, well, it's actually sitting probably about 80 centimeters above the workspace, which just gives me lots of space to get my fingers in and all sorts. So what you're going to see is my fingers are a little bit fuzzy, but the movement will be quite clear, and you should be able to see the oil going in. All right, so I'm just going to leave that one there, and yeah, we should see you back sometime soon, and we're going to strip the movement down. Thanks for tuning in, and see you again soon.